20, not natural. Dirty 20. A filthy 20. A naughty, slutty little 20. I do have to admit that in my group, we do quite often say things like dirty and filthy 20. As the session progresses, it usually devolves into like disgusting 20. Grim, disgusting, grubby little dirty little 20. Yeah. I'm glad that it's not just us though. I'm glad it's not just us. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at some D&D memes, and also you might notice I got a bit of a new fit. I'm thinking of making this kind of a big part of the new look of the channel, so let me know what you guys think in regards to how this looks. I really like the armor, and I can actually get it on without it taking too long, especially because I only need to wear the upper half of the armor, not the lower half, so it takes a little bit less time to do, but I also really like it. It's not going to be in every video, but I'm going to wear it more often. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you say something nice, I'll read it. If you don't say something nice, just know that I won't read it and I don't care. I'm gonna wear it anyway. So today we're going to be looking at D&D memes. I like D&D. I like memes. D&D memes. Wow. Before we begin though, I just wanted to quickly mention that YouTube members and patrons, you guys get an extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. That equates to about 25p per video. If you do join the members, you get access to the entire library of videos that have come out so far, same for patrons, and you'll get to see the story that's happened with this armor, the process that I went through, and how it took a little bit longer than I would have hoped to get. However, now that I've got it, pretty happy with it. Right, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? We've rolled pretty high for our stats, and our builds are strong. We're prepared for everything. We start the campaign with all of you having families, children, spouses, and pets, and they are all perfectly happy and healthy. Oh, f*** you! The common trope with D&D, right? You make a character and they always have trauma. Something's happened in their life. They always have some dark, sad backstory. It's rare that you have a character that has a happy backstory. And I think it makes sense, right? Because no one that has a happy, healthy family that they enjoy spending time with is packing up their life and going on an adventure where they'll possibly die, right? It's not a thing people are doing, right? Unless you're in the military and you're doing it because you can't afford to go to school otherwise, but that's a completely different dystopia. That's not the fantasy adventure we're talking about. So starting a campaign off where everyone has families and they're all happy and healthy, and then probably killing them off to start the adventure, it does make sense. And you can spec into everything apart from resistance to traumatic events. Fantasy authors love to daringly ask, what if racism was correct? And there's always specific races that are racist, you know? And I don't necessarily think that the racism is correct in these cases, right? But it is common, you know? You'll have humans that are racist to elves or tieflings or dwarfs, or ultimately everything that isn't human. You'll have elves that are racist to everything that isn't elves. You'll have dwarves who are usually just racist to elves. Like tieflings are usually everybody's racist towards tieflings. Like fantasy just kind of be like that, but then it is meant to be set, you know, in like the medieval era, and racism definitely more rife back then. So like, it's not out of place. Not every world has it though. It's important to note that not all authors think that it's a thing that needs to be done, because you can absolutely have a world that's like, you know, all of these dozens of races are so commonplace that racism just isn't a factor, but that's up to the author. The room is empty except for 3 stands with sets of armor. Anything better than what I'm wearing? From where you're standing, it looks pretty basic. I'll move on then. I'll go get a closer look. The armor comes alive. How could we have predicted this outcome from happening? Oh my gosh. I actually killed a suit of living armor. That's where I got this from. Fun fact. It's a totally real fact. By the way, I have no idea if you're going to be able to hear the armor in this video. It's quite creaky. My AI noise remover that I use in all my videos should get rid of it, but I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully it's not just really irritatingly creaky throughout the whole video. It's not too bad. It's only bad if I move a lot, but like, we'll see. Because, spoiler, it's not metal. It's made of polyurethane. Mainly because I don't want to deal with having to oil armor to stop it from rusting. In this realm, your story is yours to tell. Hell yeah, D&D. D&D is long gone. Long gone, unfortunately. I hate that we can't even escape politics in D&D. But also, I don't believe that either of these two fucking morons have ever played D&D, or they would know that the whole point of D&D is you tell your own fucking story, okay? If you don't like woke, you don't want queer people in your games, or you don't want people of different races in your games, then fucking play games without them. The whole point of D&D is that it's a framework. There are worlds that Wizards of the Coast create that you can play in, but you can just create your entire own world. Literally everything in any D&D world and in any D&D module can be removed if you don't like it. It can be replaced with something else. That's the whole point. It's also why D&D has always been woke, because queer people, people of color, have always been able to add literally whatever the hell they want to their world and play it however they want. It's always been a thing. And also in response to that post, if you're going to make D&D woke and gay, don't expect me to play by. Yeah, honestly, like, you know what? At the end of the day, if that kind of ad has put people like Elon Musk off of D&D, fine, good. I would rather not be playing a game that's associated with someone like Elon Musk anyway. But ultimately, the reality is you have to have friends to play D&D. And I think that's what he's really salty about. New Ranger player. I only have 5 arrows left in my quiver. New Wizard player. I'm almost out of bat guano and powdered silver. DM. We don't do that here. So resource management is an interesting one because different people have different preferences, right? As a player and a DM, I don't have the brain power in either situation to keep track of these things. And the sessions I play in, the party I play with, we don't tend to use resource management. We don't use, ammunition unless it's special ammunition. We don't use spell components. We rarely keep track of food and that kind of thing, When you've got enough people in the party that have ranged abilities and spells, hunting is trivial, so food isn't really a problem, right? So resource management isn't something that I personally keep track of or play with, but I do understand that a lot of people like that aspect. They like the idea of having to keep track of their food and the resources they have before they go on an adventure or go into a cave or do an exploration. I fully appreciate some people prefer that, and that's the wonderful thing about D&D. You have a preference, you have a way that you prefer to play. Brilliant! Play it that way. That's the whole point. That's great. Walking home from my D&D game, I spotted a loose stone on the sidewalk. I checked it for traps. Found none. So I stepped on it because f*** it. That's what my character would do. No spikes or arrows shot out. No secret door opened. There wasn't even a secret key or a note under it. Hopefully it will reset by next week's game. If I saw a stone like this, I 100% would put a note under it or put something under it because come on, you've gotta. But also, to the person that made this meme, of course nothing happened. Your DM wasn't there. You can't be activating traps without your DM to explain what happens when you step on the trap or open a secret door. The door didn't open because there's no one there to tell you it opened. You can't do it without the DM. I do not balance. I do not check XP levels, and I do not calculate damage output versus health. I put enemies based on vibes, and if the players can't defeat them, they flee or die. Yeah, that's pretty similar to how I run mine, to be fair. Now, I've got a little tip for DMs. However, this is spoilers if you play in my games. So George, Blaine, Ash, if any of you are watching this, skip forwards like a minute. You gone? Good. Right. So little spoiler. When I make a boss fight, I don't actually give them set health, okay? I give them a framework of health for what I think they should probably have. However, I put it entirely up to vibes. So if you want to make a fight more tense, you don't actually give the boss a max HP. You let the players fight it, you beat up the players, and when the players are really close to losing, they're so close to dying, you let them kill it. You let them think that they were so close to losing this fight that it was a really tight battle, and then you let them kill it because it didn't have set health. It works really well. It builds up so much more tension. It's a really good strategy. If you don't like playing like that, that's totally fine, but I find that it works really well. My DM's reaction after I wish for the Ginny to make Counterspell the only castable spell in the world. Now, unfortunately, Wish doesn't have that kind of power, but that is a really funny concept and would be really funny. It makes me think of the that post that was like, if you could make anything cost just £1 or $1, what would it be? And someone responded with, being nice is free. Womp womp, now it costs $1. Which is just a really funny concept to me. Old Orc Hard. Old Orc lucky. Some old Orc not get hard. Must take blue potion. If hard lasting more than 4 hours, contact Shaman. They be impressed as hell. Spell Orc with a K and you've basically just got what the Orcs are like in Warhammer. I do have to say though, I had to read the comments for this one. I say I had to. I chose to read the comments and I just didn't realize that it's meant to say orchard. It's meant to say old orchard. And the top comment was like, as a English like second language speaker, I forgot that the word orchard existed. And I was reading that and I was like, English is my first language, my primary language, and I just didn't realize this was meant to say orchard. Asked the guild head if this quest was research or combat. They looked confused. I showed them a detailed diagram explaining the difference between a research and combat quest. They laugh. It's a good quest, they say. I begin the quest. It's combat. I have prepared research spells. I die. Well, there's your mistake. It's thinking that you should ever prepare research spells, okay? I'm British. Therefore, I am very aware that if you want to research something, the best way is to kill the people protecting it and take it back to your home. The British Museum moment. Just note, no matter how much you think a quest is going to involve research, you can't research if you're dead. You must only speak the truth into this horn. Werewolves can't hurt each other since their claws are neither magic nor silver. Yeah, I do find this to be a weird concept. Like on the werewolf monster like stat sheet, right? They have damage immunity to any attacks that are not magic or silvered, right? Which is crazy. I can understand, you know, if they had regen or if those attacks couldn't physically kill them, but they could lower their health, that would make sense. But for them to be completely immune to it is wild. But yeah, werewolf claws and their bites are not classified as magic weapons, so werewolves cannot harm each other at all. I would personally make it at the very least so that a werewolf, their weapons classified as magic attacks, in the same way that like some barbarians or some fighters and stuff can get those abilities without making their weapons explicitly magic. They can count as magical attacks. I would do the same thing, right? Or I would change it from a damage immunity to a damage resistance, so they take half the damage but they still take damage, but maybe they can only be physically killed by a magic or silvered weapon. I think that would make more sense, right? What is the difference between a witch and a wizard? Wizards are mathematicians and physicists. Witches are chemists and biologists. Warlocks, sadly, are business majors. And sorcerers are college dropouts. And bards are the theater kids. The way I like to think about the difference between like a wizard and a witch, right, is the difference between cooking and baking, you know? Because baking is very much a science, you know? There is a very specific like chemical reaction going on where you have to have all of the ingredients right, you have to have the conditions correct, and you have to do it in the exact right way to create the exact perfect same like loaf of bread or pastry or something like that, right? There's a science to it. You have creative flair in how you make it look, but there's very much a science to the process. And then cooking, fully vibes, right? If you're making a soup, you can throw whatever the fuck you want into that. You're making a bolognese, whatever the spices you want in that sauce, you add them. You're making a curry, same thing. Like, I cook entirely based on vibes. I'll have a loose framework for a recipe, but the rest of it is vibes. Whereas baking, I have to follow those instructions to the exact T, and I still somehow get it wrong. So I feel like that's the difference between a witch and a wizard, right? A wizard is a baker. It has to be exactly right and it has to be precise. Whereas a witch is vibes. She can throw whatever spices she wants into that stew and it will still be a stew. New immortal disposal technique. Flesh to stone, stone to mud. Purify food and drink, Drink the water. Damn. I mean, I feel like just the flesh to stone, stone to mud would be it. Like, there's no coming back from that. You can recover from petrification, but if you've then been turned to mud, there's no coming back from that. However, this comment was just, I remember a person who made villains that would do flesh to stone, stone to mud, reshape the mud into something barely functional as a living being, then turn it back into stone, and then back into flesh, and then use the resulting creature bound in eternal suffering as a sort of living art piece. Needless to say, that nightmare has been stuck in my brain for over a decade. Ah, body horror. Horrors beyond human comprehension. Eternal suffering where your body has been reformed into misshapen art. Wow. What a great concept though. Honestly, I kind of love it. That would, if I threw that at my players, that would fuck them up. I don't think they would know how to recover to seeing someone do this. Genuinely. I might have to use that. I'm taking notes. But that is where I'm going to end the video. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. As I said earlier, let me know down below what you think of the armor. I really like it. I think it looks really cool, and I'm really happy with it. If you say anything bad, I don't care and I won't read it. If you would like to support me in making more content like this and contribute to things like me actually getting the armor in the first place, I've been saving for this for a while. Then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely means so much, and it genuinely helps so much. So thank you to everybody that does. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.